Auckland just went into lockdown this morning. These juices,
I reckon this guy eats barbecue.
you can't ask people to be kind. It smells amazing if they don't have access to good quality meat. It's Monday the 15th of Feb here in Greenhithe. Auckland just went into lockdown this morning. Could be a 3-day lockdown, could be a month-long lockdown. It's raining, everything is wet. What a beautiful day to smoke a brisket. At some point in the last 9 months since the first lockdown, the government has wised up a little bit and realised that you can't shut butchers down. You can't shut them down for months on end with millions of dollars of meat in stock, because meat has a shelf life and meat is an essential service. It's an essential part of life just as much as bread or flour or toilet paper is an essential part of life. So is meat. But really more importantly, you can't ask people to be kind if they don't have access to good quality meat. So, Butcher Jack's down in Wairoa was open today. It'll be open the next few days. It'll be open for as long as this lockdown proceeds. So what I like about them is they serve these shrink wrap ready to go, which is just a point end of the brisket, perfect for 2 to 4 people. You don't have to go and ask them to cut it in half for you. It's just in and out, ready to go. So that's what we're cooking today. Make sure you don't forget the sniff test. Smells like nothing. We're good. I like to keep one hand clean, left hand, because that's my knife hand, and use my other hand for all the dirty work, so that I can reach for things like the bag of salt, bag of pepper, without having to wash my hands every time. That's a really nice amount of marbling in this. I'm just doing the usual concoction today: salt and pepper. Now you can be really hoary, and you can wipe up all that spillage to do the corners, you know, to the edges. Nice. This guy usually stabilizes at about 275, 300, so I'll give it a couple of minutes and then I'll throw in a water bowl. And then I will throw on the meat. Today we're going to cook with slightly wet manuka, because that's all I got. Oh no, completely missed. Ow, ow, ow. You're real shame to drop my phone. That's hot. Right, let's try that again. Yes, she's in there. Let's not forget the filthy water bowl. Once that's up to 275, let's put on the meat. This is a nice little before photo. There she goes. That brisket is only roughly 2 kilograms, so I'm going to leave it in the smoker for 4, 5, 6 hours, somewhere around there, until the color looks really nice. Then I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it in the oven to finish off, because A, that saves fuel, B, I'm being a little bit lazy. But it's a good way to get it up to temperature without just burning through charcoal. And in the meantime, I'm going to put on some lunch. Ouch. 45 minutes under smoke, and this is what we get. Smoked sausage really does make an amazing snack halfway through your smoke. Because the smoker doesn't have a baffle plate in between the heat source and the meat, it has a tendency to burn the bottom of the meat. So the way I counteract that is I flip the meat halfway through. Sometimes I might flip it twice if it's a really long cook. But I'm going to go ahead and do that now to make sure that the bottom side doesn't get too black. That's how the top is looking right now. That's how the bottom's looking. So as you can see, a lot more heat exposure. So just flipping it over, smells smells amazing. It has been 4 hours, still pumping away at 300 degrees. I want to check the bark and check the temperature. 165, 170, no issues there. Oh shit, things are going down.
Good afternoon, everybody.
I reckon this guy eats barbecue.
Let me translate for you guys. You need to probe it, and then you need to double check that the temperature is nice and high, 180. And then you need to wrap it and then send it out into the oven, and then you will be able to, after a little while, open it up. We've just heard from Mr. Bloomfield that the vaccine has arrived in New Zealand, but more importantly, the brisket is looking really good. I am gonna wrap it up and throw it in the oven. Oh, that's gonna be so hot.
Love for me. On the couch.
The brisket was in the smoker for just over 4 hours total, and now that it's wrapped up in tin foil, I'm gonna put it in the oven to finish off. It's really easy to maintain a consistent temperature in the oven. Running an oven is cheaper than running charcoal, and there's no flavor coming in from the wood anymore now that I've got it all wrapped up in tin foil. So it just makes more sense to put it in the oven to finish it off. So I'll do that now. I'm gonna set the oven at about 230 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 110 degrees Celsius, and it'll slowly, gradually come up to temperature. Once the meat is at 200-ish, 205, that kind of range, I'll start probing it. As soon as it's probing nice and tender, I'll take it off. The method of finishing a brisket in the oven is really handy if you want to have a brisket for lunch. You can cook it the night before from say 6 p.m. through till midnight, and you can wrap it up and then put it overnight in an oven at say 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then when you wake up the next day, the meat is going to be at 200 degrees, and then bump it up a little bit more, get it to 205, 210. As soon as it's tender, probably already will be tender, you can just start resting it. So I just checked the oven, and the meat is sitting at about 195 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's not probing tender yet, but it's getting there. So a good time to go to the supermarket and get some coleslaw and a couple of things to go with it. So I'm gonna break out this guy for the first time in a long time. Wish me luck. There's still a little bit of resistance, you can see, just it's not going quite all the way through, so I'm going to give it a little bit longer. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the jumbo juice. Bye. What the hell is this? Bye. By Double Vision Brewing. I don't think I can do a better review with a straight face. So we are sitting at, oh, that's gone all the way through, 205 degrees, and it's probing super tender, no resistance at all. So I'm gonna start resting it, and we're gonna dig into it in about an hour because we are hungry. It's been resting for 1 hour, and before that it was in the oven for 3.5 hours, and before that it was on the smoker for 4 hours. This looks amazing. Slice it this way first. These juices are just juices for days. Nice smoke ring. So I'm gonna put these together on these buns. There's still a couple of burnt ends. The crunchy bit at the end. Arguably the best piece of the whole brisket. Let's give it a try. I never know how to end these videos. It tastes amazing.